Hello and welcome back. Now in this lesson we will see the notes of our website. So whatever we have studied in the previous lesson, we will look at this question and the chapter from the notes. Now I will look at the notes here and I will share the screen with you as well. Now I hope that by now you have downloaded the lecture notes. Hang on. Now if you have downloaded the notes, if you come to chapter 2 please, chapter 2 where it says pensions, I've shared the screen with you as well. Now you can check on the screen. It says pensions chapter 2 on page 6 please. Now at the start of this chapter it says the types of the pension. Now you know the types of pensions. I already explained in the previous lesson, occupational pension and the personal pension contribution. Personal pension scheme. Occupational is with your employer and personal is by your own self, you manage it. The maximum contribution, then it says maximum contribution to pension scheme. So the maximum contribution that shall qualify for tax relief is the higher of, I showed you here, it is the higher of, I showed you in the board as well. Here if you see, it says £3,600, we said £3,600 and the relevant earnings. So it says on the notes as well, the maximum contribution that will qualify for tax relief is higher of £3,600 and UK relevant earnings. And in the bracket it says employment income, trading income and income from furnished holiday letting. Then it says that note, if the gross pension contribution exceeds the annual allowance, then there shall be a tax charge on the excess contribution by adding it in extra of non-savings income. I told you that whatever the excess is, we will do it as we will add it in the non-savings income. Alright. Then it says the annual allowance for 15-16 and 16-17 is £40,000. There is a mistake here in the notes, please. If you want to rectify it, please. It says 15-16 and 16-17. Now, if you do it as 15-16, 14-15 and 15-16, please, just the way I showed you on the board. There is a mistake here on the notes. I'm sorry for that. It is 14-15 and 15-16. So for 14-15 and 15-16, the limit is £40,000 per year, and then it says the annual allowance for 14-15 and earlier years was £50,000. If you make this 14-15 a 13-14, please, or the previous year, whatever you can say. So I showed you, whatever I showed you on the board was right. There's a mistake in the notes. So for 15-16 and the 14-15, the limit is £40,000, and any previous year, 13-14 or any previous year, is £50,000 per year. So if an individual has any unused annual allowance in any of the previous 3 tax years, then it can be paid in the year 15-16 without incurring a tax charge, right? So you can pay it if you have any unused in the previous 3 tax years. The annual allowance in the current year is treated to be used first. So first one you will have to use the current year, then the unused allowance of the previous 3 tax years will be used on the FIFO basis. Now tax relief, it says, I already explained you what are the tax reliefs of occupational pension contribution and personal pension contribution. If you want to read it, just pause the video here. I will just skip these two. And if you see the pension benefit and lifetime allowance, I've already explained you this bit as well. If you want to rectify the mistake here, there is a mistake. It says lifetime allowance of 125,000 in the notes. If you could please put an extra 0 after that, it is not 125,000, it is £1.25 million. Alright? So if the funds are accumulated more than the lifetime allowance, then there shall be a tax charge, not in the syllabus, as I said. The maximum you can get tax-free lump sum is 25% of lifetime allowance. The rest of the funds accumulated in the pension fund must be taken as pension income, and it will be taxed in the non-savings income in the year of receipt. Now after that it says it shows you a table on page 7 where it says tax year earnings and blah blah blah. Now this tax table is exactly the same which I showed you here on the board. It is exactly that. Now if you want to see this table, that's fine, but if you please note the things which I am writing down on the board. It is easier for you to grasp than the ones on the notes, and sometimes there is a mistake on the notes as well, so please make sure you rectify the mistakes. Now it says tax year in the notes, and from 1011 to 1516, just the way we did here. Then it says earnings from £20,000 to £300,000, just like on the board I did. Then it says contribution. So contribution means pension contribution, just the way I showed you on the board. So contribution was from £12,000 to £180,000. Then it says contribution qualifying for tax relief, and I showed you here as well. It's from £12,000 to £40,000. Then it says non-contribute here. It is not non-contribute. It is I showed you on the board, maximum allowed for relief, less contribution. If you please make it, if you please rectify it, it is maximum allowed for relief, less contribution, and it is from £38,000 to 0. Then after that it says tax. It is not tax, it is tax charge, treated as non-savings income, just the way I wrote on the board. Alright, so that is it. And after that it says the enterprise investment scheme, seed enterprise investment scheme, and these things, VCT. I've already discussed this in the previous lesson. Alright, so that was pension contribution. Now if you could please come to the board again, on the table please. There's a mistake here I have noticed. I showed you on the contribution qualifying for tax relief in tax year 11-12. If you please look at this again with me, if you want to, if you have already spotted the mistake, that's fine. If you haven't spotted the mistake, please pause this video here and resume the video again. Please spot the mistake. I hope that you have done it. If you haven't, let's see again. In the tax year 11-12, he has contributed, relevant earning was £25,000, but he has exceeded the limit. He has exceeded the relevant earnings. So he's contributed £28,000 instead of £25,000. Let's come to the formula. Formula says you can contribute higher of £3,600 and relevant earnings. Relevant earnings in this case are £25,000. So relevant earnings in this case are £25,000. So higher of £25,000 and £3,600, obviously £25,000. I did a mistake here by writing £28,000. I beg your pardon for that. It is £25,000. Alright, so maximum is higher of £3,600 and relevant earnings. It is £25,000 here, so not £28,000. So contribution qualifying for tax relief will be higher of £3,600 and relevant earnings. So it will be £25,000 here. The rest of the stuff in this pro forma is fine. In this table, everything else is fine. Just this I noticed, contribution qualifying for tax relief. I've noticed it when I finished the lecture, so that's why I thought I should tell you it. Alright, so that's it for now, and I will see you in the next lecture with the example. Before I finish the lecture, hang on, let me see it on the notes. If you remember from your previous lectures, in the chapter 1, where the chapter 1 is ending, just before chapter 2, there was a comprehensive example, if you remember, and you can check it on your notes as well. I'm not sharing the screen, it is on page 5. If you go on your page 5 of the notes, there is a comprehensive example of chapter 1. I hope I asked you to do that and have a go at it. If you haven't done it, please do it. In the next lecture, I will show you how to do this example. We will do it together. But please make sure that you have already done it. If you haven't, please go have a go at it now and check your answers in the next lesson. Alright? Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next lecture. Bye.